Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic Live. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. Excited to be with you. I'm really excited to share this report with you because I don't know. There's a lot of things that go on in Washington, D.C., and I wonder, like, is anything good ever going to happen? And what do we really have to get excited about? But this is actually a really big development that just took place over the last yesterday and today. We've had a number, folks, of big things that have taken place, and I'm going to walk through these. But this really starts with Pam Bondi making a big move. So I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. Please smash that like. Do chat in with where you're from. As people are joining this stream, I do have to mention my sponsor. And a quick note on this. So Birch Gold, you guys have heard me talk about them. I'm going to tell you a quick personal story. So I have an agreement with Birch Gold, right? I have to get them a certain number of views every month, and then if I get them views beyond that, there's the possibility to make a little bit more. Well, I did not hit the second tier of views this last month, just due to a number of things. But folks, Birch Gold not only honored their contract, but still threw in some extra. And I'll be frank, I've never had anybody do that before. So I guess if I'm looking at a company and I'm thinking, are they legit? Especially when I'm putting investment dollars in there. That's where I would go. So text Lumberjack to 989-898. Again, Lumberjack to 989-898 to get your free info kit on gold. They're legit. Okay, they're legit. So my personal recommendation is, if you're getting gold and silver, that it's true integrity, and it was really something I didn't expect, and I just wanted to tell you guys that because it's a big deal. Anyways, folks, here we go. We have Trump administration axing prosecutorial protections from members of Congress. This is huge. Huge. Pam Bondi and the Justice Department plan to scrap DC's insider veto over corruption cases. That's right. Pam Bondi and the Justice Department. People have had all these questions about Pam Bondi. Is she any good? Pam Bondi's not doing enough. Folks, she is scrapping the DC's insider veto over corruption cases. Okay? Under the proposal, local U.S. attorneys could indict crooked lawmakers without permission from the shrunken public integrity system. Okay? Old guard bureaucrats are already screeching that this ends a safeguard, but that safeguard mainly protected the swamp. Handing power back to frontline prosecutors finally puts privileged politicians under the same law as working Americans. Okay? This is a big deal. I mean, so there has been this insider deal out in DC where they can veto corruption cases, and now U.S. attorneys can indict crooked lawmakers without permission from the public integrity section, which has been shrunken under the Trump administration anyways. Are you guys picking up on what this is? Because there's a whole lot that goes along with this story, but it's all based on this. This is a huge deal, okay? There's now, the prosecutors can prosecute politicians in DC just like anybody else. Exactly. See, this is it. Michael Bowden said, who knew Congress had this power? This is the first time I ever heard about it. It was the first time I had ever heard about it. Okay, so I knew about the money that they had in Congress to protect them from the sexual cases, right? You guys all knew this, right? I mean, there was this slush fund in Congress, so their defense for their sexual deeds were covered under your tax dollars. But now this is saying that the insider veto over corruption cases from the public integrity section, okay, it's over. Pam Bondi's doing this right now. Why is this important? Okay? See if you get this in the chat, because some other news broke over the weekend. Why is this so important right now? Because, folks, Ed Martin, and if you'll remember, Ed Martin was the guy that Trump wanted as the D.C. attorney, the D.C. prosecuting attorney, who was blocked by Tom Tillis, Lisa Murkowski, Mitch McConnell, and others. But Tom Tillis is the one. And it's so funny because now these people are all running around. Okay, not Murkowski, because she feels she's in Alaska in perpetuity due to her scam that she got in there, which is ranked choice voting. Okay? But so she doesn't feel she even has to be a poser anymore. Tom Tillis is running around posting about the Trump agenda now and how big of a deal, the Trump agenda and how he's so for it. Okay. So, but Ed Martin got a new role, if you hadn't heard this. Eric 2506, good to see you on the stream. Always good to see you. Smash that like if you would, please. So now Ed Martin, since he couldn't get that appointment because of Tom Tillis, he is now the DOJ's pardon attorney. That's right. Ed Martin, the guy that Tom Tillis and others blocked from being the DC prosecuting attorney, is now the DOJ's new pardon attorney. The story just keeps getting better. It just announced that he's launching a sweeping investigation into whose pardons, folks. He said the integrity of the American pardon system requires that we examine the pardons and who did that. That's right. Eric 2506 got it. Biden's pardons. He's launching an investigation into Biden's pardons and who did what. We will get to the bottom of it, Ed Martin said. Count on us. This is straight fire, people. Okay, hold on. This story gets even better, okay? If you're ready for it to get better, it's going to get even better. I am so jacked about this. I was sitting there mulling through the news this morning, getting all just, I'm like, what is there even good going on? And I'm getting kind of ornery. Do you guys ever get ornery about the news and thinking like, where are we going to see some actual justice? Does this happen to you, yes or no? Because I'm serious. I'm like trying to get news out to you. And half the time I'm looking at it going, this is a bunch of worthless crap. I want something real to happen. So now we have Bondi eliminating this. Now we have Ed Martin saying he's going after the Biden pardons, and it gets even better. Representative James Comer says staffers behind Biden's Autopen scandal, when he was clearly in mental decline, have been identified and that subpoenas are coming. Okay, but hold on, it gets even better. I'm telling you, smash that like if you would, please, and drop a comment. Let's get this out there. Okay, so subpoenas are coming. They have identified the staffers. Now, just wait. Before I get into this article, people, this is why it gets even better. They've identified the staffers. What are the staffers going to do? Do you think the staffers are just going to go down with the ship? Seriously, do you think the staffers are going to be like, oh yeah, it was all us. Nobody else was involved. Please throw us in jail. Do you think that's what's going to happen? Yes or no in the chat. Please comment on this. I think exactly the purple Sam Squanch said it. They're going to sing like a canary, baby. They're going to sing like a bird. This is the greatest bit of news. So there's a lot of moving parts to this, okay? Now, do you guys remember, okay, so just over the weekend, it came out that Joe Biden, of course, has cancer. Now, do you know what the new narrative in the news media, considering these other previous things that I've just dropped you, what's the new media in the news narrative about Joe Biden because he has cancer? Does anybody know? I'm telling you, I am so excited about this story. Okay, yeah, they're going to throw them under the bus. Exactly. No, whistleblowers, lawyering up. I'm sure they are. Okay, they are going to start cutting deals. Trump's a deal maker. We just found that out because of his trip to the Middle East, where he went to the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and brought back $2 trillion for American businesses. I love this story. God help me, I want to see justice so badly. Do you think Adam Schiff might have been involved in this behind the scenes? What do you think the odds are that Adam Schiff and Nancy Pelosi were involved in this behind the scenes? Okay? All right. So here's what the media narrative, I haven't seen it. Maybe you guys have commented on the chat on this, but comments fly through pretty fast. But here's the new media narrative. We have to abandon looking into the Autopen scandal. We have to abandon looking into these other things about Biden's mental decline because he has cancer. Like, doesn't that mean we should investigate this more? Doesn't that mean we should investigate this more? So now not only do we have a problem of cognitive decline, 2 years ago, Biden said he had cancer. Do you remember this? And he was talking about how it was like driving through an oil slick on your windshield. And he was talking about, dirty pollutants in the atmosphere. And that's why he had cancer. And so many other people in Delaware had cancer. Do you guys remember this? And now the media is saying that was a gaffe. Okay. That was just, not a real thing. There is something going on behind the scenes in DC right now. Why is James Tapper coming out with his book that's supposed to be such a bombshell revelation? Okay. So not only, I guess what I'm seeing here is not only do we have the cover up of Joe Biden's mental decline and the press trying to now somehow regain their credibility out of this, but we now have Biden in physical decline with cancer that apparently he had a couple years ago, according to him, but they tell us it just developed overnight. Prostate cancer is like the easiest cancer to treat. So my dad had this, some of my uncles did as well, and then my dad eventually died from lung cancer. But even when he found out about the prostate cancer, there was time enough to treat it. And presidents go through these physicals every year. So now all of a sudden here, in fact, I'm going to find a special video for you guys. I'm using it to put together another video. So let me just see if I can find it here. I know this is kind of ghetto, but I'm going to hold up the computer screen for you. I plan on using this in another video later today, but I just want to share because there's 1,642 of you on. You guys have to see this, and you'll probably remember this as you start seeing this. But this was from the vice presidential debate in 2020. Let's see here if I can hit this. Let me get the volume turned up. Okay.
Under the same question I asked, which is, do voters have a right to know more detailed health information about presidential candidates and especially presidents?
Susan, I'm glad about transparency because it has to be across the board. Joe has been incredibly transparent over many, many years. The one thing we all know about Joe, he puts it all out there. He is honest, he's forthright. But Donald Trump, on the other hand, has been about covering up everything.
Thanks.
Okay. Joe puts it all out there, folks. He's like the most honest dude you've ever known. But wait, I got a video I'm going to put out later today that has a ton of these types of clips on it. I'm going to make it very shareable. So please just make sure you're subscribed and you're tuned in. The other thing is, folks, I've got a special show tonight, live interview from Capitol Hill. Okay, and we're going to be talking about the big, beautiful bill, which the Republicans seem to be trying to turn into a big, beautiful bust. And the question is, will we ever get serious about cutting spending? And I have one of the greatest fiscal hawks in the United States Congress coming on the show tonight. I've interviewed him a couple other times. I really like him. That's at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time. So please make sure you're tuned into that. But we have, I'm going to go back to this article now on the Autopen and the subpoenas. The Autopen scandal just erupted into a full-blown constitutional crisis. House Oversight Committee James Comer revealed in a bombshell interview with Jason Chaffetz that his committee has identified the shadowy White House staffers responsible for wielding President Joe Biden's infamous Autopen during a period when Biden was clearly in mental decline. The Autopen scandal first erupted in March when President Trump, in a fiery late-night Truth Social post, declared that Biden's Autopen pardons were void, vacant, and of no further force or effect. Do you guys remember this? Okay, so Donald Trump said this back in March. Now we have, okay, so just give you the timeline on this. Now we have Pam Bondi just the other day saying that she is axing prosecutorial protections from members of Congress. So they are scrapping DC's insider veto over corruption cases, and they could indict crooked lawmakers without permission from the shrunken in public integrity section. Okay, so Trump makes the post. Now Bondi makes this. Now Ed Martin, the DOJ's new pardon attorney, has announced he's launching an investigation into Biden's pardons. Says the integrity of the American pardon system requires that we examine the Biden pardons and who did what. We will get to the bottom of this. Count on us. And James Comer comes out and says that they're issuing subpoenas and they've identified the staffers. This is the greatest news. I swear, all week, like I've been waiting for a story like this. Okay? Trump revealed that Biden, whom he branded the worst president in the history of our country, did not personally sign the pardons, nor was he even aware of them. Joe Biden did not sign them, but more importantly, he did not know anything about them, Trump wrote. The necessary pardoning documents were not explained to or approved by Biden. He knew nothing about them, and the people that did may have committed a crime. By April 1st, Trump had escalated his calls for accountability, demanding that the person or persons operating Biden's Autopen be jailed. Why did the Autopen give Schiff a pardon? Biden knew nothing about it. Who operated the Autopen? That is the biggest question being asked in D.C. They almost destroyed our country. They should all be in jail, Trump said on Truth Social. And if you'll remember at that time, okay, when this whole Autopen text or tweet came up, truth came up, and all this was going on, you could go back and look at previous videos of Joe Biden when reporters would ask him about it. And he acted like he didn't know anything about it then. Well, I guess maybe we're looking into that. Okay. Whoever had control of the Autopen is looking to be a bigger and bigger scandal of the moment. It's a major part of the real crime that the presidential election of 2020 was rigged and stolen, Trump went on to say. He also slammed FBI Director James Comey as a dirty cop for spying on his 2016 campaign, tying the Autopen scandal to a broader conspiracy orchestrated by Barack Obama, Biden, and the radical left Democrats. Now, Rep. James Comer, chairman of the House Oversight Committee, has dropped a bombshell that could bring the perpetrators to justice. Appearing with Jason Chaffetz, Comer revealed that investigators have pinpointed the staffers behind the Autopen's use. This is absolutely the greatest thing I've had to report on, maybe in a month. So the bill, you guys all know about the big, beautiful bill, and we finally got movement on that in a rare late Sunday night vote. But, folks, that's not the end of this big, beautiful bill thing. There are people who want to see real fiscal cuts in this. And we were told that by continuing Biden's policy, we would get a real reconciliation bill. Do y'all remember this? Like, how many of you, okay, first, let me just say, how many of you want to see the cuts? How many of you want to see real significant cuts in Washington, D.C.? Because, so what we've seen in the media, right? They started out Elon Musk with the $2 billion in cuts to get us back to pre-COVID spending levels. Okay. I do. Yeah, cuts. Okay, good. Yes, I do. Good. So you guys are on the cut train. So if we're going to see cuts, it has to be in the reconciliation, right? I mean, what are we going to, like, all of a sudden Congress is going to get religion, next year when cuts become more inconvenient because they all want their reelection bid and they want to give away some goodies? So it's important right now that we get these cuts. So for that to happen, people need to stand up and hold Mike Johnson accountable to making sure those cuts happen. We can't just go along and get along all the time, okay? And I want unity in the Republican Party. We're going to be talking about these things. I've got that interview at 5 o'clock tonight. Make sure you're tuned into that. But because you're going to get the inside story behind what's going on in Congress, and I'm gonna ask the right questions to make sure you understand what's going on with the big beautiful bill, okay? And are we going to actually see cuts? Okay, cuts like a knife, Brian Adams. So that'll be going on tonight. I've got this, my favorite news of the day right here: subpoenas, prosecutions, and elimination of the thing that bars us from getting the prosecutions of members of Congress, which tells me, folks, that members of Congress knew about this Autopen problem as well. I seriously think that Adam Schiff is in on this. I mean, do you guys really think that Adam Schiff didn't know about a pardon? Do you think he wasn't lobbying for a pardon for himself? I mean, seriously. I mean, so if now Adam Schiff is, if the protections are removed, okay, and then Adam Schiff is found to be one of the people in collusion behind this whole thing. Oh, gosh. Oh, Lord, we pray for justice. Let justice roll forth like a river. I mean, like if Adam Schiff, who has done more damage to this country than anybody else in the United States Congress, these people lie incessantly. Oh, you just wait till you see this video of all these clips I'm going to drop. It's just mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Anyways, and then the fact that Ed Martin is the new DOJ's pardon attorney after they tried to block him. And Trump just gave him this role, which is even better. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited too. Again, please smash that like. Go check out Birch Gold. Text Lumberjack to 989-898. Again, that's 989-898 for your free info kit on investing in gold and silver. You can transfer some IRA funds if you want, or you can just buy physical gold and silver to keep around, stuff like this. But they're the best. Birch Gold is the best. So love y'all. Keep fighting the good fight. Go check. Oh, Mike Millendale still got those Giza sheets on sale, folks. $49.98, any color, any size. But it's on the Lumberjack page specifically. Okay, so you got to go to mypillow.com/lumberjack. Or my favorite way to order, just call the 800 number at 1-800-568-2865. Again, that's 1-800-568-2865. And go get yourself some of that Rev 7 energy drink. I'm going to go do my workout now. Yeah, fuel up on some Rev 7. Anyways, I love y'all. Keep fighting the good fight, all right? Peace out.